that arm weave up and down. Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to get into a no start issue on this little 026. May look like a 260, but it is just housing like the 260 plastic, the 260 carb, 260 air filter set up, although it does have the 026 Pro tank, which means this was an 026 Pro, which just means it had a better tank vent set up. I don't have one of the older saws here, but they have a narrower air filter and a big tall tank vent set up on them, which kind of makes it about difficult to put one of these air filters on it. You generally have to come up with a tank vent. I built this saw, it's been probably well over 3 years ago. Got it back here a week or so ago. Actually, I think these showed up last Monday. This is the last of the repairs, I think. And that's what we're going to address. I'd already assessed it before, but it would not pull any tank fuel at all whatsoever on its own. You could prime it, it would start, it'd kind of try to venturi off a choke. You can pull a little out of the tank with the choke if the saw's right and everything's good in it and it ain't worn out. If that makes sense, they'll venturi a little bit up through everything out of the tank just off of the choke. But we ordered a fuel line, a filter, or a strainer. So that's what we got to go back on it. We got the 260 Stihl carb. And if you're unfamiliar with these saws, they can be hard to start sometimes due to this. Your choke set up is in the air filter, anything from an 024 up to a 260. It's no big deal. A lot of times you have to take them apart and clean them. That little spring will wear out. The saws will get floody. Things wear out. They get hard to start. And that original air filter, I'm assuming you could still get that through a dealer, I guess, if you had the part number. The older filters anyway. But most people just go with the 260 setup, but like I'd said previously, unless you have this tank vent, that doesn't make it real easy to do. And this part everybody loves about this series of saw. Doesn't really bother me. This saw, like a 036 ms260, well, that should have a flat head, and that it does. Boy, when I put it in there, I put it to stay, evidently. Been a few years. This thing's been out in the hot Florida sun working. Tree service saw. Top cover. Now we're interlocked. Alright, the next thing you're going to do is just flip your linkage out of here. That's actually in there pretty good. This saw needs taken over to the other shop and an air hose taken to it before it leaves here. Honestly, get our fuel line off. Alrighty guys. Got our new carburetor and our fuel line laying over here. And that line is seen better days. Normally don't come rip apart that easy, but it is what it is. That's why we're in here replacing fuel line. That goes in the tank. You want that facing the back. You see that crook? You want it to go to the back. But when fishing it into the tank, it's kind of got to go in the other way. And I'm going to take an air hose to this saw before I send it back home. it is filthy. And we need to get our big needle nose, go in. Grab our line, and you'll feel it pop in all around. Just like so, nice and smooth. It's that easy. And then we gotta fish it back out. Sometimes that can be difficult. These tanks are somewhat transparent, unless you got a really old one, or one someone like myself has died. Come out of there. And we're going to put a strainer on it. Maybe. Well, it's going on tight. That's a good thing. That's what you want. I've gotten lines before and put them on, even OE lines. The strainer went on loose, and I ended up taking a little bitty zip tie and putting around. And there we have it. I'm sure my arms and hands were blocking all of that, but you kind of get the gist of what's going on there. There's the carburetor. It is much easier on this particular saw to put your linkage on the carburetor first off of the saw. I've seen some people can work them in there while it's on the saw, but I don't know, my stuff just don't work that way on something this tiny. Operator presence lever, it's got a little notch right here. I've shown that in another video where the spring sits. Kind of makes it self-explanatory. There we go. That one's tight. And the trick is on this is you gotta move fast. Which sometimes you can activate it, hold the trigger in like that, and it'll all go as planned. And then there we're screwed, it goes back in the handle. Guys, I have an AC unit going here in this little building. It's been going for a few hours. And I'm still dripping and drenching wet with sweat. I just don't remember it being this damn hot when I was younger. Work out in tobacco fields till noon from daylight, and then bale hay till dark. That was, you know, my teenage years. I don't know how you guys went. My friends and cousins were swimming pool. I was on the farm. My uncle's farm. My dad's always farmed in one way or another. I don't remember it being this damn hot. It probably was. I was just able to handle it a lot better, but man, I need to blow this air filter out and bring you guys back. functioning on the choke. Alright. We have to come in, zoom in, and show you guys how that actually functions. I don't know if I can do it with that hand. See that arm weave up and down. I hate that design. Stihl done that on a lot of saws. Husky had, the original 50s had the choke in the air filter itself. It was quite some bit different than that, but about the same basic principle, I guess. He said the original air filter cover vibrated off somewhere and they ordered this one. It's just totally different shade. Well, all that aftermarket plastics that way. It's why you see a lot of us put it in the big bowling pot. Guys, I'm going to call that a win. Hope this helps somebody. Y'all have a good one.